And we are live. Let's see, let's see. Are we up and running, guys? Talk to me, talk to me. Can you hear me? Man like Kamukan. Ogunremi says 101 start. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was 1 minute delayed because I realized that I needed to run and get my charger for my laptop. 2 days later, hello, hello, guys. Let me know. Can you hear me loud and clear? Can you hear me? Man like V-Rex says, yo. Raf, hello, hello, Layla. Hello, BG. Baller Gaming says, man like Matt, come on. Faith said, sir, where's the link to the playlist you promised on Monday? I will be sharing the playlist today. Thank you, Layla. Thank you, Ellie. Thank you, Skep. Raf says, first timer. Raf, welcome to the community. Good to have you, my friend. Hello, Zero. Hello, 2 days later. Guys, let me know. Let me know. How have your days been? T says, yo, mate, you good, man? Yes, good, my friend. Thank you very much. T says, man, I can't be bothered to revise. I know a lot of people are feeling this right now. I know a lot of people are feeling this right now. That's why we're here trying to make things a little bit easier. I know it's still tough, guys. It's a slog over half term. A lot of you will have been burnt out from the first set of exams. However, hopefully this is a little bit better than just doing a past paper on your own. Crown King, hello. Hello, Val Ely. Hello, Hasnain Assad. Adam Osmani, how you doing, my friend? Cloaked Content, hello. Justin King said, first timer here. What's up? How's it going, mate? Good to have you on. It's a pleasure. I think we might have a few new people on today. Mustafa says, Wagwan. Hello, Mustafa. Hello, ho, 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 ho. Hello, Wise Pounds. Aslam says, you looking chill, my bro. I am pretty chilled out today. I'm pretty chilled out today. I had a busy day yesterday, so I'm a little bit tired. Mindao says, hi, wonder how was the train journey? The train journey was good, actually. Thank you very much. Camel says, I'm also a first timer. Good to have you on. Raf says, year 10 here. Hello, Raf. Putting in that work early doors. Maybe you have mock exams coming up. Cow, somebody saying this is pre-recorded. I can tell you, mate, it's not pre-recorded. Couple of people asking when we're starting. We're going to be starting at 1:05, just giving people a little chance to join. Mindao said, shoot, you tried to exclude and time out me on Tuesday, expressing my thoughts against basketball. Football is better. Mindao, that wasn't why I sim-binned you. It wasn't for saying that basketball or football was better or worse. I'm getting a lot of people saying this about Lux Maxing. Guys, I don't even know what Lux Maxing is. Joe says, how was your date yesterday? I wasn't on a date, actually. I wasn't on a date. Would have been nice if I was. I had some work to do in town, so I had to get the train in there. That's why I had that train journey. Quite a few people asking for the playlist. I'll be sharing the playlist at the end of today's session. Panface says, you know what Lux Maxing is? Don't lie. I've heard of it, but I don't know what it actually is. I can imagine it's when you, I don't know, do things to make yourself look good, maybe. May says, man like Matt. Come on, welcome, May. Kong, you're very welcome, very welcome. Guys, I can see that it's 1:05. Let's get cracking with our paper. To anybody who's new, welcome to the community. The format is pretty simple. I'm going to give you a bit of time to do each of the questions, and then I will go through the answers. The longer the questions in general, the more time I'm going to give you. The way that you're going to get the most out of this session is if you try your best to do all of the questions. If you're on the bus, if you're on the train, if you're doing something, then you can just listen in the background, have this on as a bit like the radio. It's still going to be beneficial, but you're definitely going to get the most out if you try to actually do the questions. Also, guys, can you let me know, please? Can you hear the music? You shouldn't be able to hear the music in the background. I just want to make sure it's not too loud. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Jesslyn. Thank you, Faith. Thank you, Aura. Nice name. Question number 1. Here we've been told that the universal set is the even numbers between 1 and 25. We've been told that the set A is the numbers 2, 8, 10, and 14. The set B is the numbers 6, 8, and 20. And the set C is the numbers 8, 18, 20, and 22. And then we've been asked to complete the Venn diagram for this information. Guys, what are we going to do? Step number 1, we need to think about what numbers are involved in this question. And that's what the universal set tells us. So this tells us that all of the numbers that we need to put in the Venn diagram is all of the even numbers between 1 and 20. Now we could write these out if we wanted to. It would be the numbers 2, 4, 8, 6, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, and 24. I'm not going to write all of them out because it's going to take a bit of time. But what we can do is we can just go through them one by one and see whether they're in A, B, C, or some combination of them. And then we're going to put them in the Venn diagram. So first off, the number 2. The number 2 is in the set A. We can see that it's not in B or C. So we're going to put this in the set which is in A, but isn't in B or C. So we can see that this section of the Venn diagram is in A, but it's not in B or C. So the 2 is going to go in there. Next up, the number 4. The number 4 isn't in any of them. So we're going to write that on the outside. The number 6, next up, we can see that that's in B, but it's not in A or C, so that one is going to go in B only. Next up, the number 8, we can actually see that the number 8 is in A, it's in B, and it's in C as well. So that one is going to go in the middle of the Venn diagram because this is going to be the overlapping section, which is in A, B, and C. So let's write our 8 in there. Next up, the number 10, we can see that 10 is in A, but it's not in B or C. So that's going to go in A only. Next up, we have the number 12. We can see that's not in any of them. So we're going to write that one on the outside. Next up, the number 14. Again, we can see that 14 is, well, actually, this one is in one of them. It's in A, but it's not in B or C. So 14 is going to go in the A only section. Next up, the number 16. We can see that 16 is not in any of them. So that's going to go on the outside. Next up, the number 18. We can see that this one is in C, but it's not in A or B. So 18 is going to go in C only. Next up, we have the number 20. This one is in B. It's also in C, but it's not in A. So that's going to go down here, the section which is B and C, but not in A, so 22. Wait, no, that was 20, wasn't it? Yeah. So 20 down there. Next up, the number 22. We can see this one is in C, but it's not in A or B. So this one's going to go in C only, 22. And finally, the number 24. We can see that this is not in any of them. So it's going to go on our outside. So this is going to be our final answer to 1A. We have the numbers which are not in any of them, the numbers which are only in A, the numbers which are only in B, the numbers which are only in C. Then we have B and C, but not in A. We have A and C, but not in B. And we have A and B, but not in C. And then we have the numbers, which is only the number 8, which is in all 3 of our sets. Okay, having a look then at part B, I'm just going to go through this one because I know it's going to... Actually, no, let me know in the chat, guys. What's the answer to part B? Let me know in the chat. I'm having a quick look at the... Let's have a look. Justin King said, Matt, can we do more tricky Venn diagrams, please? To be honest, Justin, this is pretty much the trickiest type of Venn diagram question you can get. I mean, there are different sets and kind of intersections, but you're never going to have one with 4 circles, for example. Thank you, NJ, for linking the paper. Quite a few answers going in the chat. Skep says 1/12. VREX says 1/12. Alana 1 over 12. Let's have a look. The question says, find the probability that the number is a member of A and B. A and B. So this sign here, this little N shape, means intersect, which also means and. And the nice way to remember this is this is like a lowercase n, so it's like A and B, A and B. So we want all of the numbers which are in A and in B. So that's going to be 8. Now we need to find the probability of picking a number in this set. So we're going to do the number of ways we can choose a number in this group out of the total number of numbers in the Venn diagram. We can see that there's one number in the intersecting section and there's 12 numbers in total. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep. So we're going to get our answer of 1 over 12. So I can write this on here. Probability of A and B is equal to 1 over 12. Now, this is crucially not to be confused with A or B. A or B, or A union B, which we can write like this, would be all of our numbers in A and all of our numbers in B. Okay, 5 seconds to screenshot this, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to question number 2. A couple of graph questions to start us off in this paper. Luckily, they're both questions that we can kind of do if we don't have the paper printed out. This one especially. So I'm going to move this down a bit so that everything is on the screen. Let me just go like that. And it says, Sean has information about the height in centimeters and the weight in kilograms of 10 rugby players. He's asked to draw a scatter graph and a line of best fit for this information. Here is his answer. Sean has plotted the points accurately. Write down 2 things that are wrong with his answer. Man like Sean, what's popping? What's gone wrong? Okay. Quite a few people asking where we can find the paper. NJ, I'm going to pin your comment, mate. There we go. Pin message. So I think NJ's put a link to the paper for anybody who wants to print it out on Maths Genie, I think. Thank you very much for that, NJ. Text Radiation says, man like Sean. Mohammed says, line is not best fit. Okay. Cloak says, shouldn't go through the origin. Interesting. I'm just going to have a quick check-in over on TikTok, guys, see how many of us are on. Very nice. 300 of us. Good job, GSWFC. Good job, Ollie. Yeah, nice, guys. Fantastic work. Fantastic work. For anybody wondering, I'm actually live on TikTok and YouTube at the same time, and I'm focusing mainly on the YouTube chat. So there's 300 of us roughly on TikTok, 170 of us at the moment on the YouTube. I focus on the YouTube chat because it's kind of a more regular community over there, and it's just a bit easier for me because the chat's actually right in front of me. Okay, what do we think then, team? SW says, I'm pretty sure one of the scale axes values is wrong. Very nice. Jasmine says, curved line of best fit. Interesting. Okay, lots of answers in there. So what are going to be the 2 mistakes with this graph? Number 1, we have the wrong line of best fit. So I'm just going to write this up here. We have the wrong line of best fit. Why? Our line of best fit should be a line which goes roughly through the middle of all of our points. Now, that's not perfect because I'm on a laptop. Luckily, I can go like that. So our line of best fit should be something more like that. To be honest, that one's not actually great. Let me do that again. Line of best fit for would look something like this. So it needs to be a line which goes roughly through the middle of all of our values. We can see that they've just kind of done a random line. Looks like they've tried to draw just a straight diagonal line through the origin. So that is one of the mistakes. Somebody mentioned that it should be a curved line. They're actually correct that it should be a straight line. The second mistake, I've not seen. Yeah, and I've not seen many people put this in there. Yeah, good. Ajman Mahfuz says they skipped 150. Exactly right. So we can see that the scale doesn't go up by the same number each time. From 140 to 160, we plus 20. But then from 160 to 70, we plus 10. 170 to 180, we plus 10. 80 to 90, we plus 10. 190 to 200, we plus 10. So we can see that they have done the axes wrong. So they've labeled the axes wrong. We can just say that 150 is, I'll write it here. missing from the x-axis. 150 is missing from the x-axis. Okay, beautiful. 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on, guys, to question number 3. Now, this is a 4 marker. Lots of marks up for grabs in this one. Let's have a look and see what we can do. Even if you don't have the paper printed out, please still give this a good shot. That's how you're going to get the most out of this session. Even if you don't have the paper printed out as well, you could still think about, okay, what angles can I work out? And what does that allow me to do with regards to working out angle X, which is ultimately what we need to do. Yeah, good work, Zero. Good work, Ray. Good job, Crypt. Good job, Cloaked Content. Really nice, guys. Really nice. Ben Lightdown says angles on a straight line. Definitely relevant here, mate. Definitely relevant. Okay, okay, okay. What do we think, team? What do we think? If anybody does, by the way, come from the TikTok over to the YouTube, let me know in the chat and I'll give you a little shout out. I'm trying to encourage people to come over, to be honest. Even though the TikTok gods are not going to like me for that, it's a little bit better the setup over there. And it also means you can go on a computer and just have a better, kind of more serious overall revision experience, let's say. Nadia says, I came from the TikTok. Come on. Shout out, Nadia. Shout out who came from the TikTok. God's Grace says 180 minus 135. Beautiful. I'm going to do this one in a few stages, guys. So my first question is, how can we work out angle X? Well, we know that the angles in a triangle add up to 180. So if we can work out this angle here, and we can work out this angle here, then we can work out X. So my first question, guys, is what is this green angle here, and what is the reason? So question number 1 for you guys is, what is the green angle down there, and what is the reason? What do we think? AliX says 45. Crypt says 45. Hey, Maria, good to have you on. Adam Duck says 45. Yep, guys, very well done. It is, in fact, 45. How could we work that out, though? Well, give a reason for each stage of your working. We know that the angles on a straight line add to 180. So we can do 180 minus 110 minus 25 to work out that green angle there. So 180 minus 110 minus 35. Oh, sorry, minus 25. Yeah, I don't know why I said 35. Minus 25 is going to give us 45. Beautiful. So we've got that angle there, guys. Very nicely done. My next question to you all is actually not what is this angle going to be, but my next question is what is this angle going to be? What is angle ABE going to be? Why am I asking this? Well, because if I can work this out, then I can use that same angles on a straight line adding to 180 to find this one here. What is this orange angle here, team? Raf says 70, Harmon 70, J 70. And what's the reason? Layla says 70. Guys, what's the reason? Let me know. I can only see Sammy Boy, who's got it right so far. Yeah, good job, Faith. Exactly right. So we can say that this angle here is 70. And the reason is that we have co-interior angles. ABC and DEF are two straight parallel lines. And we can see that EB connects them. And here we have a C shape, kind of actually a reverse C shape. So we have co-interior angles. And what do we know? We know that co-interior angles add up to 180. So I'm going to write it up here at the top. Co-interior angles add to 180. So we can do, I didn't actually write the 45 in there from before, but we can do 180 minus 110. So I'll put colon. So 180 minus 110 gives us 70. Now I'm just going to go through this a little bit because I think we can do this. How do we work out this angle here then, team? Well, we're going to use the same logic that we used down here. We know that angles on a straight line add up to 180. So working out this angle here, We can do, again, angles on a straight line add to 180. We can do 180 minus 70 minus 35. 180 minus 70 is 110. 110 minus 35 is 75. So we have 75 here. Final step, what can we do? Well, that's right. We know the angles in a triangle add up to 180. So guys, drop your answer in the chat for me. What's the value of x? What's the value of x? Yeah, beautiful. Well done, Valeria. Well done, Mamzi. Well done, Aliak. Baller Gaming, Ramesh, Crypt. 0. Great job, guys. Great job. So we can do 180 minus our 75 minus our 45. Typing that into the calculator, we're going to get 60, telling us that our answer to this one is 60. Guys, if you did that, wonderful job. Fantastic work. Nicely done. As Lay, what on Beats, what on Ara, what on Softly, guys. Superb work for that one. Okay, question number 4 up next. This is a good one to do. Very, very likely to come up in paper 2 or 3. I'm not going to say the topic because it's going to actually, I can say the topic because it says it in the question. This is compound interest, very likely to come up. Mohammed says, sir, how is it co-interior? Isn't it alternate? I'm not going to be able to go back, Mohammed, but I do have a few videos which explain all the angles in parallel lines and stuff. So you could watch that one if you're unsure. Basically, the alternate angles are the Z-shaped ones. The co-interior angles are the C or U-shaped ones. Quite a few people asking about where to find the paper. NJ has very kindly linked it for us in the chat. Would it be helpful, guys, if I post the link to the paper in the description of the video? Let me know in the chat. Oh yeah, you could have done it with alternate angles as well. So yeah, you could have also done it with alternate angles. Okay, quite a few people saying it would be good to put it in the description. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll do that, guys. I'll do that. Actually, to be fair, guys, what I'm going to do this evening is I'm going to plan which papers we're going to do every day from now until paper 2. For anybody who doesn't know, I'm going to be live every day 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. until the end of half term. Monday evening, I'm going to do 2 lives, 1 higher paper, 1 foundation paper. Tuesday evening, I'm going to go live 3 times. We're going to do 2 higher papers, 1 foundation paper, and I'll plan all of the papers today. And I'm going to make a post. I'll put it out on TikTok and on YouTube with which papers we're doing on which days so you guys can all download the papers in advance. Jasmine said, yes, helping our academic comebacks for real. Thank you. My pleasure. My pleasure. Guys, I'm going to be honest. I've been advised by many people. I was actually advised to make an academic comeback course and make it like charged over half term. So charge like £20 or £30 and put all of these lives behind a paywall. But it just didn't feel right, man. It just didn't feel right to do that. So that's why we're doing it like this, baby. That's why we're doing it like this. Way more people can join. Question number 4, drop ready in the chat when you're ready for me, guys, and we're going to go through it. Okay, Cloaked is ready. Yeah, nice. Let's have a look, guys. Let's have a look what we're going to do. Question number 4. We're told that Northern Bank has 2 types of account. Both of them pay compound interest. Straight away, I'm thinking of my compound interest formula. I can either use the one in the formula book, or I can use the fact that the end amount, I'll write it here. So the end amount A is equal to the initial amount times by 1 plus the interest rate as a decimal raised to the power of the number of time periods. We're told that Ali invests £2,000 in the cash savings account. Ben invests £1,600 in the shares account. Who's going to have more interest by the end of the 3 years? Let's go ahead and work it out. So what about Ali? Let's go with Ali first of all. So Ali over here, he's going to invest £2,000. So his initial amount I is going to be £2,000. And we're going to times this by 1 plus 2.5% as a decimal. We can do 2.5 on the calculator divided by 100. It's going to be 0.025. So writing this in, we can have 1 plus 0.025. We're going to raise this to the power of the number of time periods. It's 3 years, so we raise it to the power of 3. Next up, I'm going to type this into the calculator. 2,000 times 1.025 raised to the power of 3. And we're going to get 2,153.78 to 2 decimal places. So that is going to be Ali's amount there. Initial amount A times 1 plus the interest rate as a decimal, 0.025, raised to the power of the number of time periods. Now, what about Ben? Well, Ben's going to be investing £1,600, but this time in the shares account. So it's going to be 1,600 times. We're going to do 3.5% as a decimal. So we're going to do 3.5 divided by 100. You can type that into the calculator if you want. So 3.5 divided by 100 is going to be 0.035. So we can do times by 1 plus 0.035 raised to the power of 3. Again, 1,600 times 1.035 raised to the power of 3. We get 1,773.95 to 2 decimal places. Now let's look back at the original question. Well, the original question said, who will get the most interest? So we don't want who has the most end amount. We want who has the most interest. How do we work that out? Well, the interest is going to be the difference between the end amount and the start amount, right? So we can do the end amount, which for Ali was 2,153.78 minus the start amount, 2,000. That's going to be 153.78. And then what about for Ben? Well, we're going to have 1,773.95, which is the end amount, minus the start amount, 1,600. And that is going to be £173.95. Of course, guys, you can do those on the calculator. So who got more interest at the end of the 3 years? It looks like Ben got more interest. Lucky Ben. Why? Well, the reason is because the £173.95 is greater than the £153.78. Nicely done. If you got that one, Jasmine, good work. Nicely done, Pranav. Man, like Layla said, Ben gets the most interest. Yeah, good work, Layla. Okay. Next up, part B. It says, in the 3rd year, the rate of interest on the shares account is changed to 4%. So on the shares account, it was 3.5, and now it's gone to 4%. So it's increased. And then it says, does this affect who will get the most interest by the end of the 3 years? Well, who was getting the shares account? It was Ben who had the shares account. Ben's amount of interest has now increased. So Ben's getting paid more. Ben already was getting paid more interest. So now Ben just has even more. So does this affect who has the most interest? No, it doesn't. Why? Because Ben just has even more. Okay, fantastic work. If you got that one, nicely done, Bilal. Perfect answer. Okay, we're going to move on now to question number 5. We have a 5 marker here. Let's have a look, team, and see what we can do. 5 marks up for grabs. Absolute banger of a tune just came on, let me tell you. Absolute banger. All over TikTok. You know the song Show Me Love by Wiz DMC? NJ says, Matt, have you made the playlist? Yeah, absolutely, mate. I'm going to be sharing it at the end of today's session. I'm going to put the link in the chat. You guys can hop on there and see what you think. It's like an hour and a half Afrobeats playlist with probably 2020 to mainly 2024 tunes, some 2025 songs. Harry came over from the TikTok. Welcome, Harry. Good to have you on. Question number 5, guys. I think we should do this one in a few stages. Let's do this one in a few stages. Just going to have a quick check-in on the TT. Okay. Layla said, "Show Me Love" is a tune. I don't want to like it because it's been so popular all over TikTok. But to be honest, it's a tune. I can't lie, it's a tune. And well, the first like 30 seconds is amazing, then it dies off a bit. But okay, guys, let's get cracking with this first bit. Then let's get cracking with this first bit. So, question number 5. The question says, the diagram shows a floor in the shape of a trapezium. Okay, we have it over here. We're told that John is going to paint the floor. Okay, we're told that each 5-litre tin of paint is £16.99. 1 litre of paint covers an area of 2 meters squared. John has £160 to spend on paint. Has John got enough money to buy all of the paint he needs? You must show how you get your answer. So instead of working out is £160 enough, we're going to focus on working out how much money he needs to spend. How are we going to do that? Well, we need to work out ultimately the number of tins of paint that he's going to buy. And how do we do that? Step number 1, we're going to need the area of our trapezium. We're going to need the area that we're trying to cover with paint. What's the formula for the area of a trapezium? The formula for the area of a trapezium is half times a plus b times by h. Let me write it up there. So a half times a plus b times by h. In this case, what are we going to have? And a and b are the top and the bottom of the trapezium, like this. Doesn't matter which one's which, technically. And h is the vertical height. So working out the area, we're going to have, I'll do this bit in blue. So we're going to have a half times by 10 plus 16 times by 7, which is going to be 91, I think. Let me just check that, guys. I don't want to make any silly mistakes. Half times 26 times 7. Yeah, beautiful. 91. So this is going to be the amount of floor that we need to cover, but how much paint do we need? Well, we've been told that 1 litre of paint covers an area of 2 meters squared. Okay, 1 litre of paint covers 2 meters squared. We need to cover 91 meters squared. So how many liters of paint do we need? Well, we can divide our 91 meters squared by 2 to work out the number of liters. 91 divided by 2. Do that on the calculator, guys. It's going to be 45.5, and that's going to be the liters that we need. So 45.5 liters of paint. Let me move that a little bit to the left. Now we're going to go from this to working out the number of tins of paint that we need. The number of tins of paint that we need. Well, we need 45.5 liters. It's 5-litre tins. So we can do 45.5, the number of liters that we need, divided by 5, the number of liters in each tin, and that's going to give us 9.1 as the number of tins. 9.1 is the number of tins. Again, guys, use the calculator for that. Next step, can we go to the shop and ask for 9.1 tins? No, we can't, right? So we're going to have to round this up to 10. So I'm just going to write a little arrow. We need 10 tins. And the reason for that is because 9 tins wouldn't be enough, and we can't go to the shop, unfortunately, and ask for 9.1 tins of paint, right? So we need 10 tins. They're £16.99 each. So now we can do the 10 times by £16.99, which we can do on the calculator, and it's going to be £169.90, which we can see is more than the £160. So do we have enough? No, we don't. And the reason is because we need £169.90. Nicely done, Halima. Good work with that one. Yeah, good job, Beats. Good job, Baller Gaming. Yeah, that's right. Faith says if he bought 9, then he wouldn't be able to paint the whole floor. That's exactly the right logic. Exactly the right logic. Okay, thank you very much, HZ. Guys, let me know. Did that one make sense? Did that one make sense? Any questions in the chat? Because it's quite an important question, that one, to be fair. Berserker says, why did you divide 91 by 2? So the reason we did that was to go from the number of meters squared of the floor to the number of tins that we needed. And the reason was because 1 liter covered 2 meters. So we could divide by the 2 meters squared that each liter covered to go from the number of meters to the number of liters. Okay, awesome. Moving on now, question number 6. Oh, it's a pretty good question, guys. Let me tell you, it's a pretty good question. Hey, Tay in the chat. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you. Man like Tazamodo, come on. Sunny Night says, OMG, I just started watching. Hopefully I can pass my mock. Hey, good luck, good luck. Welcome to the community. I think there's a lot of new people on today. HZ7, man, not gonna lie, you look a bit tired. I'm gonna be honest, HZ, I am pretty tired. I am pretty tired. Hopefully I don't look too tired, guys. I've been streaming a lot. Question number 6. Hello, sunny night. Day's going very well, thank you. Okay, okay. Sorry, Jasmine, I didn't see what you said. I said, could you please make a video on what equations we need to memorize? I think that, well, there is one actually already. If you go quite far down on the TikTok, there's one over there. Okay, question number 6, guys. Drop ready in the chat when you're ready. I know it's a tough one. Let's see what we can do. Drop ready in the chat when you're ready for me. And we're going to go through it. Okay, that's very good, Dan. That's very good. Let's keep it chill. Let's keep it relatively chill. It's okay to have fun, but don't be inappropriate. Okay. Nicely done. Quite a few answers going in the chat. Let's see what we can do. Question number 6. It says, A is the point with coordinates 5, 9. B is the points with coordinates D, 15. The gradient of the line AB is 3. Work out the value of D. How can we think about solving this? Well, what do we know about gradients? We know that we can work out the gradient between 2 points by doing the change in y divided by the change in x. Or we might know that. Or if we didn't know it, hopefully we know it now. So the gradient between 2 points is equal to the change in y divided by the change in x. How do we find the change? Well, we subtract the coordinates, right? So in this case, we can say that the gradient, which actually is 3, so I can just write that in. So the gradient of 3 is equal to the change in y. So the y coordinates are the second one. I'm going to do 15 minus 9 over the change in x. We go from 5 to d, so the change is going to be d minus 5. So we did the y coordinate minus the y coordinate and the x coordinate minus the x coordinate. Next step, we're going to solve this equation for d. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here now. We're going to times both sides by d minus 5. So 3 times d minus 5 is going to be equal to, well, 15 minus 9 is going to be equal to 6. Now we have an equation which we can solve. So we're going to expand these brackets on the left-hand side. 3d minus 15 is equal to 6. Now I'm going to add 15 to both sides. 3d is equal to 15 plus 6, which is 21. Now dividing both sides by 3, we're going to get d is equal to 7. If you got that one, really nicely done. Tough question there. And let me know in the chat, guys, did that one make sense when I went through it? Because I know that was a tough one. Did that one make sense when I went through it? For anybody who didn't get it but understands it now, please let me know in the chat. At the end of the day, that's why I'm out here doing these streams. Yeah, good job, Haz. Beats says, yes, it made sense. Running Halo 100%. Very nice, guys. Very nice. Thank you so much, eh? Okay, let's move on to question number 7 now. It says, write the number 0.00008623 in standard form. Guys, drop your answer in the chat for me when you are ready, and we'll go through the answer. Drop the answer in the chat. I'm not going to give you too long for this one at all. Just a couple of minutes. Actually, no, less than a minute, I mean. Not a couple of minutes. Okay. Somi says 8.623 times 10 to the 5. Lots of people saying the same thing. Yeah, very nice, guys. If you did say that, oh, actually, 10 to the 5? Okay, 10 to the minus 5. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, good. Yep, well done, guys. I can see a lot of people putting that in the chat. And I also misread yours. I'm sorry, Somi. I read it correctly in my mind, then I misread it out loud. So yeah, okay. Question number 7. Write the number 0.00008623 in standard form. Guys, how do we write a number in standard form? We write it in the form a times by 10 to the b, where a is between 1 and 10, and b is a whole number. So it could be positive, could be negative, but crucially, it's a whole number. Now, in this case, we're writing a very small number in standard form. So that means that our power is going to be negative. Whenever we're writing a small number, a number less than 1 in standard form, is going to be a negative power. What's the negative power going to be? Well, we need to count how many decimal places we move the decimal point. So, firstly, writing it as a number between 1 and 10, we're going to take the 8, and then we're going to write 0.623. We're going to times this by 10 to the power of negative. How many places have we moved the decimal point? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be 10 to the power of negative 5. There, what we did was we wrote it as a number between 1 and 10, and then we counted how many places we moved the decimal point, and because it was a very small number, we raised it to a negative power. Okay, part B, it says work out 3.2 times by 10 to the 3 times 5.1 times 10 to the negative 2 over 4.3 times 10 to the negative 4, giving your answer in standard form, correct to 3 significant figures. Guys, the best way to do this is going to be to get our calculator and to type it in. Just give me 1 second, guys. Okay, typing it into the calculator, what are we going to have? We're going to have 3.2 times 10 to the power of 3 plus 5.1 times 10 to the power of negative 2. And all of that is going to go over 4.3 times 10 to the power of negative 4. We bring that into the calculator. And what do we get? We get 7441979.07. We're going to give our answer in standard form, correct to 3 significant figures. Step number 1, let's convert this into 3 significant figures. So we look at the first 3 digits, which are not zeros. And then we look at the next number, which is going to be the 4th, and that determines whether we round it up or down. So because it's below 5, we round it down, we keep the 4 the same. So we have 744, and then we fill in the rest with zeros, so 0, 0, 0, 0. So now we have our number to 3 sig fig. We're going to write it in standard form. What are we going to do? Well, it's going to be 7.44, writing it as a number between 1 and 10 times by 10 to a power. This time, because it's a really big number, the power is going to be positive. How many places did we move the decimal point? We move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our power is going to be 6. Well done, text radiation. What on Wise Pounds? What on Aura? What on Sunny Night? What on Text Text Radiation? Putting the answer in again. Yeah, great work, guys. Great work. Nicely done, HZ. Yeah, superb, guys. Superb. Okay, moving on now. We're going to skip question number 8 because it's a bit impractical. Question number 9. This is a topic which really often gets missed out in schools, but we're going to go through this one. I don't know why so many teachers forget about this topic. So if you have never seen this, even if you're aiming for a grade 7, don't stress too much. It can come up. Hamza says tricky. Yep. Pranav says this one is light. Twisted Paradox says truncation is actually so annoying. Yeah, it is annoying. It is annoying. Has9 says, sir, can you do 8? I'm not going to do 8 right now just because I know a lot of people are going to leave if I do. Because it's very impractical to do like this if you don't have the paper printed out. I mean, if we have time at the end, I'll go back and show it at the end of the session. Nice try, Somi. That wouldn't be right in many cases, but it's not going to be that here. Joshua says, I've never heard of truncation. A lot of people are going to be in that boat. A lot of people are going to be in that boat. What do we think, guys? I've actually not seen the correct answer yet. Oh, maybe I have. Nope, I've still not seen the correct answer. Okay, now I'm seeing a few. Okay, let's have a look. Question number 9. It says Martin truncates the number n to one digit. The result is 7. Write down the error interval for n. So first of all, what's an error interval? An error interval is an interval between which our number could have been before it was rounded, or in this case, truncated. So the question is saying, what number could it have been before it was truncated? It's turned into 7. We need to know, what does truncated mean? Truncated means that we just chop off the end of the number. So for example, if we have 7.842 and it's truncated after one decimal place, we just chop the end off and take it like that. If it was a number, for example, to make this super clear, if it was a number 7.792, if we rounded this to one decimal place, the 8 would turn into a 9, right? But truncating it, we literally just chop off the end. So the question is basically saying, what is the biggest and smallest that our number could have been before the end was chopped off? And the answer is going to be that n is bigger than 7, but less than 8. So if we think about this, the smallest possible number would be 7, because it's like chopping the end off of 7 wouldn't actually affect the value. So the smallest possible number is 7. If we went any smaller than 7, it would truncate to 6, right? So if it was like 6.9, you chop the end off, it would turn into 6. So that's why it's 7 on the lower end. And on the upper end, the reason that it's 8 is because we can go all the way up to 7.9999. And if we chop the end off, it's going to become 7 when it's truncated. Now, the reason that we write 8 instead of 7.9999 is because it's impractical to write 7.9999. And by not having the or equal to on this upper limit, we represent the fact that we can't actually have 8. We just get closer and closer to 8 without ever getting there, so 7.9 reoccurring. Let me know, chat. Did that make sense? That's correct, Jasmine. Yes, says so is truncation just chopping it off instead of rounding. That's absolutely right. Mohammed says, I understand it now. Awesome. Good work. Yuko says, yep, get it now. Kathwal says, get it now. God's grace. Nice work. Tiger, good work. Yeah, really nice job, guys. Really nice job. Sorhab's asking about the playlist. I'm going to be dropping it at the end of this session, mate. I'm going to be dropping it at the end of this session. Okay. Question number 10 up next. We have 5 marks up for grabs in this one. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to give a good few minutes for this. I'm also going to spend a bit of time in the chat. After this question, guys, I'm going to do the whole Google review thing. Just need to check something very quickly. Mohammed says, so question 8 is cooking me. Don't worry. We're going to go back at the end if we have time. We're going to go back at the end if we have time. Cue number 10. Cue number 10. Maybe we'll do this one in a few stages, guys. Maybe we'll do this one in a few stages. Let's do that, actually. So step number 1, just to get anybody going if you're not sure how to get started with this. Oh, I need to turn the music down. My bad, my bad. Wait, guys, let me know. Can you hear the music? Hopefully not. And then we're going to get cracking. Okay, thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Faith. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, God's Grace. Thank you, 2 days later. Thank you, Beats Somi. Jasmine says not at all. Thank you very much. Okay, Let's have a look. Let's get cracking with this one then, guys. So Robert makes 50 liters of paint by mixing liters of yellow paint and liters of blue paint in the ratio 2:3. Straight away, I'm already thinking at the start of this question, ratio division. I've not even read the question, but I know I'm going to have to work out the amount of yellow paint and the amount of blue paint. Let's get it done. How can we divide into this ratio? Well, we're going to have to work out the total number of parts and then scale our ratios up and down. So total number of parts, we're going to do 2 plus 3. That's going to be equal to 5 parts total. Next up, number of liters divided by the number of parts. We're going to do 50 liters divided by 5 parts is going to give us 10 liters. I'll just rub out this 5 marks. 10 liters per part. What does that mean about the amount of yellow and the amount of green? Well, it was yellow, sorry. Oh yeah, so the amount of yellow and the amount of blue, 2:3. So 10 liters per part. We have 2 parts for yellow, 3 parts for blue. So we're going to times the 2 parts by the 10 liters per part to work out the amount of yellow. It's going to be 20. And the amount of blue is going to be 30. Let me write this down here actually. So 20 liters of yellow, 30 liters of blue. Okay, if you got that first part nicely done, where do we go from here? Well, let's read the rest of the question. It says yellow paint is sold in 5-litre tins. Each tin of yellow paint costs £26. Blue paint is sold in 10-litre tins. Each tin of blue paint costs £48. We're told that Robert sells all of the green paint he makes in 10-litre tins. He sells each tin of green paint for £66.96. We're asked to work out Robert's percentage profit on each tin of green paint he sells. So we're going to need percentage profit. How are we going to do it? Well, profit is going to be equal to, or our percentage profit is going to be our total profit divided by our costs times by 100. The first thing we're going to need to do, though, is work out our profit. So first off, how much do we spend? Well, if we buy 20 liters of paint, that looks a little bit confusing, this 20 and 30. So I just rubbed that out at the top. So if we buy 20 liters of yellow paint and each one is sold in 5-litre tins, we can do 20 liters of yellow divided by 5 liters per tin to work out the number of tins. So that's going to be 4 tins. What about in the same case with the blue? Well, 30 liters of blue. This time it's sold in 10-litre tins. So divided by 10 liters per tin. So it's going to be 3 tins of blue. I'm just going to change that from green because I think it looks a bit confusing, to be honest. Let's just make that blue. So far we've got our number of tins. My question to you guys is this. Let me know in the chat. If we buy 4 tins of yellow paint and 3 tins of blue paint, how much money do we spend in total? If we buy 4 tins of yellow paint and 3 tins of blue paint, how much do we spend in total? Okay, quite a few people putting the final answer in the chat. Yeah, Tom Ray says 248, Logesh 248, Ramesh 248, Mr. Boss 248. Let's have a look. So 4 tins of yellow, each tin is £26. So we can do the 4 tins times by the £26 per tin. That's going to be £104. Do that on the calculator. And then the 3 tins of blue paint, each one is £48. We can do the 3 tins times by the £48. That's going to be 144. To work out the total cost, then we can add those together. So the total cost is going to be equal to 104 plus 144, which is going to be 248. So we now know our total cost. We need our profit, though. So we're going to need to do our total amount of money we have coming in. Well, how much money do we have coming in? Robert sells the green paint in 10-litre tins. He makes 50 liters of green paint. So how many tins are we going to have? We're going to have the 50 liters divided by the 10 liters per tin. It's going to be 5 tins of green paint. Each one is £66.96. So we can do the 5 tins times by £66.96 to work out the amount of money we have coming in. 5 times 66.96, we're going to get 334.8. Now, where can we go from there? We're going to need to work out our profit. To work out our profit, we're going to do the money we have coming in minus our costs. So our profit is going to be equal to the £334 that we make minus the 248 that we spend. I'm going to type that into the calculator. We're going to get £86.80. Now to work out our percentage profit, we need to do the profit divided by the costs times by 100. Let me write that in. So we're going to do profit divided by costs times by 100. Profit is £86.80 divided by the costs of 248 times by 100. Bringing that into the calculator, we're going to get 35 as our answer. A long old question there, guys. A long old question. Let me know in the chat. Did we get that one? Good job, Logesh. Good job, Belinda. Good job, Aya. Good job, Jake. Nicely done, guys. Halima, good work. Skep, good work. Mamzi, good work. Nicely done, Radiation as well. Okay, let's do this question, question 11. Then we're going to take a slight midway break before moving on. Good work, Harry. Question number 11. I'm not going to give you long for this because I know that it's a show that question. I'd like you to have a think about how you would do this, and then we can go through it. And actually, let me know in the chat, how do you do this one? Faith, really good question, said it's per tin, so don't you divide by 5? That's a really good question. So you could divide by 5, but you wouldn't divide your percentage by 5. It would work out the same either way. Essentially, it's going to be the short version of the answer. But you could divide by 5. In that case, you would divide your overall costs by 5 to work out the cost per tin. You would divide the profit by 5 to work out the profit per tin. And then you would do those divided with each other, and it would give you the same answer. Okay, let's have a look. Question number 11. It says, in a restaurant, there are 9 starter dishes, 15 main dishes, and 8 dessert dishes. We're told that Janet is going to choose one of the following combinations for her meal. So either a starter and a main, or a main and a dessert, or a starter, a main, and a dessert. Show that there are 1,335 different ways to choose the meal. How can we do it? This is a classic combinations question. Classic combinations question. So we need to work out the number of ways of choosing, firstly, a starter and a main, then choosing a main and a dessert, and then choosing a starter and a main and a dessert. Well, how do we do this? When we have 9 starters with 15 different possible mains, to work out the number of combinations for each of those starters, there are 15 options. So we're going to do 9 times by our 15. Or if you want to think about it quickly, you just times the numbers together. So 9 times 15, that is going to be 135. Now, what about the ways to choose a main and a dessert? There are 15 mains, there are 8 desserts. So we can do 15 times by 8. That's going to be 120. And then starter, main, and dessert, all 3. 9 times 15 times 8. I'm going to type that one into the calculator. 9 times 15 times 8. That is going to be 1,080. Now, if we're correct, these should add together to make 1,335. Let's have a look and see if we're correct. So 135 plus 120 plus 1,080. Adding these together, 135 plus 120 plus 1080. We're going to get 1,335. Therefore, we must be correct. Guys, let me know in the chat. How was that one? Did we get it? And then I'm going to ask a little question. How do I unpin this comment? Unpin. There we go. Okay, quite a few people saying that they got this one and it wasn't too hard. Hey, guys, well done if you did get it. Nicely done. Nicely done. Okay, guys, I'm going to now ask for a little bit of a favor for anybody who hasn't already done it. If you have already done this, guys, take this opportunity to get a drink of water. We're going to be starting the session again at 4 minutes past. We're going to be starting the session again at 4 minutes past. For anybody who's new or for anybody who hasn't done it yet, guys, I'm going to ask you if you could please, please, please leave me a little Google review. So I've pinned the link to leave a Google review in the chat. So you just have to click that and leave a review. I saw that a random person rated it 4 stars 20 minutes ago. So that again is going to pull the average down from 5 stars. So guys, if you haven't already, I would really, really appreciate it if you could leave a quick review. In the meantime, any questions, let me know. And we're going to get started again in 3 minutes. I'm going to say kind of the selfless reason to do it is because, guys, it would really help me out. It would really help me out. I don't get paid anything for these streams. I have the ads turned off specifically to make it better for revision. So it would be, it'd be kind of a bit of like a thank you kind of. But equally, the selfish reason to do it is the only way I'm going to be able to keep doing the free streams is if I can get these Google reviews up. Hey, thank you, Beats. And anybody who does leave a review, can you let me know in the chat as well? JSM on top says done a review, boss. Thank you very much. If you're watching on the TikTok now, by the way, there's also the link is also in my bio. So if you leave the stream now, you can see it on my TikTok page. And you just click that link. Oh, thank you very much, Mamzi. I appreciate that. Yuko says put in 5 stars, guys. Thank you so much. Who said just did one. Halima says did the review. Oh, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm gonna have a quick look, see if I can see any of them going up. Someone the other day ranked it. Yeah, I've said this a few times, but put it as 1 star and called it £1 fish, which is super annoying. And it did pull the. Oh, guys, this is sick. I can see a lot of people have actually just done it. Oh, guys, thank you so much, eh? Thank you, Agnello. Thank you, Beats. Thank you, Vedant. Thank you, Bilal. Thank you, Jazz. Thank you, Dosa. Thank you, Olivia. Oh, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Quite a few people have already done it. Yeah, we're going to get started in just another minute. Any questions, guys, let me know. And then we're going to get started in just a minute. Thank you, Norris. Thank you, Sunny Night. Thank you. Yeah, guys, thank you if you did just do that. I don't want to let the trolls win. These people ranking as 1 stars. Because I think it's got to be just trolls just doing it to be annoying. NJ said, if only if the one odd troll in the reviews could be removed. Yeah, no, that's well, the thing is, I have been getting some emails from Google, which I think they do remove some of them. I obviously can't remove them. It's Google reviews, right? If you were selling predicted papers, and you got a bunch of bad reviews from people who bought them in the past, and you were not using Google reviews, and you were using a different review website, which is not Trustpilot and not Google reviews, then you can delete the reviews. So I'm not saying that anybody does that, but I know the predicted papers are getting quite popular. Have a look at what website they use to do their reviews, and it will tell you a lot about what they do with their reviews. If they were behaving responsibly, they would use Google reviews or they would use Trustpilot, then they would not be able to delete any reviews. However, if you use a dodgy website, which is not well recognized, you can delete reviews. I'm not saying people do that, but people do that. Okay. We're going to get going in just a second. Okay. Question number 12. Question number 12. Let's get going. Thank you very much to everybody who just left the review. I really, really appreciate it. Sorry, the bloke just walked past the window. That's why I nodded. Question number 12. It's a tough one, I would say. If you're aiming for a grade 7 or higher, you want to be getting this one, though. Okay. Quite a few people saying that we should simplify. If you are saying that, you are exactly right. And if you're saying factorize, then you've got the type of simplifying right as well. Okay, guys, question number 12. Drop ready in the chat when you're ready for me. And we will go through it. HZ said, Matt, I can confidently say you're the only male my female dog likes. Any other male's voice and she barks, but when it's you, she's calm. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. I actually have a dog back at home. You guys know I'm not at home at the moment. So I'm missing my dog a bit actually. So that's nice to hear. Okay. Are we ready? Ben Lightdown's ready. Thank you, Lola. Okay, a couple of people asking for a little bit more time. I'm going to give 1 more minute. Actually, 30 more seconds. 30 more seconds and we'll go through it. 30 more seconds, or 20 more seconds now. Thank you, Sohab. I appreciate that very much. So thank you for doing these papers. They're really helpful. G. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that's been time. Question 12. Let's get it done. It says write 4x squared minus 9 over 6x plus 9 times by 2x over x squared minus 3x in the form ax plus b over cx plus d, where a, b, c, and d are integers. What we can see, guys, is that we have two pretty crazy fractions, right? Algebraic fractions, we have x's, we even have x squareds. And we need to simplify this to have something simpler on the top and simpler on the bottom. How do we do this? Well, when we have algebraic fractions like this, the best way to do it is always, and it's actually the only way to do it, is to factorize as much as we can. So I'm going to look at my fraction on the left first of all, and I'm going to think about how can I factorize this. First off, how can I factorize 4x squared minus 9? It's quite hard to spot, but here we actually have the difference of two squares. We have a quadratic with no number next to the x, so it's effectively plus 0x, and we have a square number at the start and a square number at the end. In this situation, we're going to have the square root of the first number plus the square root of the second number times by the square root of the second number, first number minus the second number. Let me show you what I mean. So square root of 4x squared is 2x. So we have 2x plus square root of 9 is 3, so 3 times by 2x minus 3. So that's the difference of two squares there. On the bottom, we can factorize this. What goes into 6x and also goes into 9? 3 goes into both of them. So 3 times by. What do we times by 3 to get 6x? We times it by 2x. What do we times by 3 to get 9? We times it by 3. We're going to times this by. On the other fraction, we're going to have 2x over. The bottom of this fraction, we can actually simplify as well. We have x squared minus 3x. We can actually see that we have a common factor of x here. So we're going to factor out the x, and we're going to have times by x minus 3. Next step, we can have a look and see if we can cancel anything down. We can see that, well, actually, next step I'll say is we're going to bring both of our fractions together. So how do we multiply one fraction by another fraction? We do the top times by the top and the bottom times by the bottom. So I'm just going to bring these together into one fraction. And it doesn't matter which order we write them in. So I'm going to write 2x times by 2x plus 3 times by 2x minus 3 over, I'm going to write the 3 and the x at the front. So 3x times by 2x plus 3 times by x minus 3. Next step, I can have a look and see what I can divide the top and bottom both by to make this simpler. So first off, I can divide top and bottom both by 2x plus 3, so I cancel those out. Next up, I can divide the top and bottom both by x, so I cancel those ones out as well. On the top, I'm left with 2 times by 2x minus 3. I'm going to expand those brackets. So 2 times by 2x is going to give us 4x, and 2 times by minus 3 is going to give us minus 6. And on the bottom, 3 times by x minus 3, 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times minus 3 is minus 9. The reason that I expanded those brackets and I didn't leave it in the form, I didn't leave it in this form. I could have left it like this. 2 times 2x minus 3 over 3 times x minus 3. The reason I didn't leave it like that is because it wanted it in this form. It didn't actually want it in the factorized form. Okay. Hopefully that one made sense, guys. Let me know in the chat if that one was okay. Hopefully the description made sense and there was some of us who didn't get it, but it made sense for after we went through it. A couple of people asking me to repeat it. I'm not going to have time now to repeat it, but you can watch the recording back. All of the lives are recorded, uploaded straight to the YouTube channel. Mohammed says, this one saved me. Okay, great. Bilal said, yeah, amazing. Yoko said, I understand it now. Great work, guys. Superb work. Okay, next up, part B, 3-mark question. Let's have a look and see what we can do. I'm going to give you a few minutes for this one. It's quite a long question, actually, for 3 marks. Yeah, actually, it's a very long question for 3 marks. I can see on my phone a few of the Google reviews are coming through. Hey, nice. Yeah, that's so cool, guys. That's so cool. Okay. It's just got way darker where I am. Like the light coming through the thing's just gone down, so I probably look a bit darker now. I might get my light out and put it on the laptop. Part B. It's long. It's long for 3 marks. I won't lie. Let me know in the chat when you're ready, and we'll go through this one. Thank you, Julia. Appreciate it very much. I know a lot of people aren't even doing this one. Beat says ready. Stefan ready. Anyone else ready? Only if a lot of people put it in the chat, because I've not given. HZ said best question to just stare at. Okay, team, let's get it done. Quite a few of us want me to go through it. Let's see what we can do. Part B. It says express 3 over x plus 1 plus 1 over x minus 2 minus 4 over x as a single fraction in its simplest form. So this is an adding slash subtracting algebraic fractions question. Now, technically, it works the same as adding or subtracting any other fraction. What we need to do is rewrite all 3 of the fractions over a common denominator and then add and subtract the numerators. However, how do we write them over a common denominator? What we're going to do is we're going to cross multiply. So we can see that the first fraction is over x plus 1, the second is over x minus 2, and the third is over x. We're going to rewrite all of them as fractions over x plus 1 times by x minus 2 times by x. The question is, in each case, what do I have to multiply the denominator by to get that? And I'm going to have to do the same to the numerator. Let me show you what I mean. So all of our fractions are going to be over the same denominator like this. I'm going to copy and paste them. Hopefully it fits. Not too bad. And we'll put a minus there. There we go. I'm going to make this a teeny bit smaller. So the question is, what did we times the x plus 1 on the bottom by to get x plus 1 times x minus 2 times x? Well, we already had the x plus 1. We times it by the x minus 2 and the x. So on the top now, we're going to have 3 times x minus 2 times by x. So we times the top and the bottom by the same. Now, what about this second fraction? Well, in this case, we started off with a 1 on the top. What did we times the bottom by? Well, we started off with the x minus 2. So we times it by x plus 1 and x. So we're going to do the same to the top. X plus 1 times x. Now, what about this one over here? We started off with just the x on the bottom. So we times the bottom by x plus 1 and x minus 2. So we're going to do the same to the top. 4 times by x plus 1 times by x minus 2. Now what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to simplify the numerator here. So how can we simplify this 3 times x minus 2 times x? I'm going to do this in 2 stages. So firstly, I'm going to write it as, I'm going to move this up. I think we're going to run out of space, so I'm just going to move this up a little bit. So I'm going to write this as 3x times by x minus 2. This one, I'm going to do the 1 times the x. I'm going to write it as x times by x plus 1. And this last one, I'm going to write this one as I'm going to do 4 times by x plus 1. That's going to be 4x plus 4 times by x minus 2. Although I did just notice I swapped the plus from minus. And all of that is going to be over the same denominator of x plus 1 times x minus 2 times x. Next step, we're going to simplify this numerator. Let's see what we get. So expanding everything. 3x times by x is going to be 3x squared. 3x times minus 2 is minus 6x. X times x is x squared. X times 1 is x minus, and then all of these parts we're going to have to make negative. So 4x times by x is 4x squared. So we're taking away 4x squared. 4x times by minus 2 is minus 8x. So we're minusing minus 8x. So that's going to be plus 8x. Next step, 4 times by x is 4x. So we're minusing 4x because we have the minus that. And then we're doing 4 times by minus 2 is minus 8. So we're minusing minus 8. We're going to have plus 8. So minus 4x squared plus 8x minus 4 plus 8. Next step, we're going to simplify, bringing all of these together. Now, I'm not going to rewrite the denominator just because it's going to take up a lot of space. But how can we bring together the numerator? Well, 3x squared plus x squared is 4x squared. Minus the 4x squared, they're going to cancel each other out. So 3x squared plus x squared is 4x squared. Minus the 4x squared, they cancel each other out. Now let's bring together our x's. We're going to have minus 6x plus x is minus 5x plus 8x. Well, let me not make a mistake. So minus 5x plus 8x is 3x. Minus 4x is minus 1x. So we have minus 1x. And then with the constants, we just have an 8. So yeah, we just have an 8. So we're going to have plus 8. And all of this is going to be over the x plus 1 times by the x minus 2 times by the x. Now, this would get us all of the marks. I'm just going to rewrite this to make this look a little bit nicer. So we're going to do minus 1x plus 8. We can just write this as 8 minus x. And all of that is over x plus 1 times x minus 2 times x. If you got that one, guys, absolutely fantastic job. It was a tough one. Let's have a look. What's happening in the chat, guys? I can see people spamming random letters. And it's not people who I would expect to be spamming. IJKL. Let's see. Guys, why are you spamming? Was there a reason or? Okay, people are taking the mic. It's the alphabet. They're trying to get the alphabet in there. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Guys, let me know though. How was that question? Did it make sense? Did it make sense? It's a tough one. It's a long one. I love that. Just the alphabet. Yeah, just the alphabet. We thought we'd drop it in the chat. Okay. Bilal said, been revising for 2 hours. I'm going also. No worries at all. Well done for joining. Well done for putting in the work so far. You've done a great job. You've done a great job. Okay. 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on. Quite a few people are asking if this paper or if this live stream will be uploaded to the channel. Yeah, guys, all of the live streams are uploaded straight to the YouTube channel. They are under the live tab. So you just go on my page, you go on the live tab, and then you can see all of the historic live streams uploaded. Actually, I have a question for you guys. So obviously focus on this question. It's a 3 marker. Let's get it done. But in the meantime, can you please let me know, would you like me to give all of the live streams different names? Because I'm a bit conscious that so far, all of the live streams are just called GCSE Maths Higher Pass Paper Live, which I think is good because it just does what it says on the tin. But I don't know if you would go through the previous ones if I, like, for example, wrote, you know, which day of the week it was or something. Okay, a lot of people are asking if I can, okay, add the which papers they are or the day. Okay. Should I put the years in? I'm gonna ask that in the chat just because I think less people join. I think if it has too much in it, so I'll start a quick poll. Should I put the years? Okay, guys, I'll set up the poll quickly. Hey, nice to see over 300 of us. Guys, welcome to anybody who's new. The community is growing. The community is growing. For anybody who is new, basically, I'm going live every day from now until paper 2, and then I'll be doing another batch of live streams ahead of paper 3. The lives for the rest of half term are going to be 1 p.m. until 3 p.m. Monday evening, I'm going to be live 5 till 7 and 7 till 9, doing a higher paper and a foundation paper. Tuesday evening, before the paper 2, I'm going to be live 3 times pretty much the whole night. So doing 2 higher papers, 1 foundation paper. Oh, pretty much everybody is saying that I should put it in the chat or in the title, I mean. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll do that then. I can see it's an overwhelming majority in the poll. Yeah, 144 votes, 94% said yes. Okay, okay. We'll do that. We'll do that. Quite a few new people as well, I'm guessing, asking about my GCSEs, when I sat them, how old I am. So I'm 24 years old. In my GCSEs, I got 12 A stars. A levels got 3 A stars, and that was including maths and further maths as well. Degree wise, I did economics and went to the London School of Economics. And I've been tutoring for 8 years, and I've been doing this on social media for 3 years. So that's like a quick summary of everything and background. I don't teach in a classroom. I just do private teaching. Oh, Mr. First Class Math says, what shampoo do you use? Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay. Question number 13, guys. Drop ready in the chat when you're ready for me. And also, if you've seen Mr. First Class Maths in the chat, let's get a wave emoji in there. Well, some kind of emoji to welcome him in. For anybody who doesn't know, it's a fantastic YouTube channel. In my opinion, the best GCSE Maths YouTube channel for explainer videos. So if there's like a particular topic which you really can't understand, that's the best place to go. I think he's covered most of the course now. So yeah, nice to see the waves in the chat. Weirad says first class maths and my GCSE maths collab. We need that. Maybe it's in the hopefully one day, let's say. Okay. Question number 13, team. Let's get it done. Pretty tricky problem solving one, I would say. Pretty tricky problem solving one. It says the diagram shows a circle with an equilateral triangle. What's an equilateral triangle? All of the sides and all of the angles are the same length. We're told that one side of the equilateral triangle is a diameter of the circle. Okay. We're also told that the circle has a circumference of 44 centimeters. Okay. We're then asked to work out the area of the triangle, giving our answer correct to 3 significant figures. So we're seeing the area of a triangle. I'm thinking, okay, I'm either going to have to use a half times by base times by height, or I'm going to have to use a half AB sine C. Either way, though, I'm going to need at least a side length in my triangle, sorry. So let's try and think about how we could do that. We know that the circumference of the circle is 44. We know that the side of the equilateral triangle is the same as the diameter. So we want to work out that diameter. How could we work it out? Well, we have a formula for the circumference. We know that the circumference of a circle, so the circumference of a circle is equal to pi times by the diameter. In this case, we know that the circumference is 44, so we can say that 44 is equal to pi times by our diameter. Now, if we want to work out our diameter, how can we do it? Well, at the moment, it's being multiplied by pi. To get it on its own, we're going to divide both sides of the equation by pi. So we can say that our diameter, and I'm just going to write it like this, is equal to 44 over pi. So now we have an expression for our diameter. If we wanted to, we could write that as a decimal. If we did, we would have to do it to a bunch of decimal places just to make sure that we don't make any rounding errors. So diameter is 44 over pi. So we now have one of the side lengths of our circle. Where can we go from there? Well, we know it's an equilateral triangle, which means that all of the side lengths are the same length. So we can say that this is 44 over pi as well. And this is also 44 over pi. Where can we go from there? Well, we don't have the height of the circle, so I'm thinking half AB sine C. How could we work that out? Well, we know because we have an equilateral triangle that all of the angles are the same, and all of the angles, in fact, are going to be 60 degrees. We could do 180 divided by 3. Now that we have two side lengths and an angle in between them, we can use the fact that the area of a triangle, so area of a triangle is equal to a half AB sine C, where C is an angle in our triangle and A and B are the two sides either side of that angle. So we're going to sub those values in. We're going to do a half times by 44 over pi times by 44 over pi times by sine 60. And let's type that into the calculator and see what we get. 0.5 times fraction 44 over pi. Oh, wrong button. 44 over pi times fraction 44 over pi times sine 60. Beautiful. And we're going to get 84.938. So rounding to three significant figures then. Our first significant figure is our 8, second is the 4, third is the 9. So we look at the next one, it's a 3, so we round down. We keep it as 84.9, and that is going to be our answer to this one. Don't get me wrong, guys, it's a tough question. It's a tough question, but let me know in the chat. How did we find it? Did anybody get that one? Good job, Mamzi. Good job, Logesh. Guys, tough question there. Good job, Ancient. Yeah, really nice work, guys. Did anybody not get it right but understood it after I went through it? Again, like I say, they're my favorite comments. They're my favorite comments because at the end of the day, that's why we're doing it. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Thank you, NJ. Okay, let's keep moving, guys. 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to question 14. This one I'm just going to do. Let's have a look. Question 14. It says, on the grid, sketch the curve with equation y equals 2 to the power of x. This is our exponential curve. This is one that we just memorize, and it's going to look like this. It's going to be a curve which blows up. That's hopefully what my YouTube channel is going to look like over time. And crucially, it crosses the y-axis at 1, and it doesn't cross the x-axis. So it gets closer and closer to the x-axis, but never crosses it. Loser donated 10 AED. I actually don't know what currency that is. It says, no, seriously, we need to know what shampoo you use. I got to say that. I got to say, I use a brand called Aesop. It's a brand called Aesop. Okay. Did anybody get that one? Oh, it's dirhams. Yeah. I didn't know the abbreviation, guys. Okay. Question number 15. Drop your answer in the chat when you're ready for this one for me, and we're going to go through it. Question number 15. The equation of a circle is x squared plus y squared equals 42.25. Find the radius of the circle. Guys, I've got this My GCSE Maths playlist cooking off in the background, and it's good, you know. It's good, you know. It'll be interesting to see what you guys think at the end when I mention it. We're gonna hopefully get through this whole paper. I'm gonna do a little bit of a chilled out Q&A at the end, and then we're gonna call it a day. Yeah, Musty, you're right. I have to. Okay, lots of people putting 6.5 in the chat. Let's have a look. The equation of a circle is x squared plus y squared equals 42.25. Find the radius of the circle. Guys, how do we find the radius of a circle? Well, we might or might not know that the radius of a circle can be found using the formula or the general equation of a circle. The general equation of a circle is x squared plus y squared equals r squared, where r is the radius. What does this mean? It means that in this case, our radius squared is 42.25. What that means is that our radius is the square root of that. The square root of 42.25 is 6.5. Great job if you got that one, guys. Question 16 up next. If you weren't sure for that previous one, the topic is the equation of a circle. Question 16, let's have a look at this one. Only 2 marks up for grabs. I'm going to give, I'll give 2 minutes for this. I'll give 2 minutes for this. Quite a few people asking what paper this is. This is the Edexcel November 2018 paper 2. Yeah, I'm going to do that moving forwards in the lives. I'm going to put the which paper we're doing in the title. That's been highly requested today. The reason I don't do it at the moment, by the way, is just because I think it looks a bit cluttered when you are scrolling around Google or scrolling around YouTube. HZ, you can steal the shampoo, but trust me, you ain't coming for the dog. Okay. Question 16. Let's have a look. The question says there are only red counters and blue counters in a bag. We're told that Joe takes at random a counter from the bag and that the probability the counter is red is 0.65. So the probability of red is 0.65. We've been told that Joe puts the counter back into the bag. Mary takes at random a counter from the bag. She puts the counter back into the bag. What's the probability that Joe and Mary take counters of different colors? So there's only red and blue counters. We know the probability of red is 0.65. So what's the probability of blue? Well, we know that our probabilities have to add to make 1, right? If there's only 2 options, those probabilities have to add to make 1. So to find the probability of blue, we can do 1 minus 0.65. It's going to give us 0.35. Now, how can we choose 2 of different colors? Well, either we choose a blue and then a red, or we choose a red and then a blue. So we're going to do the probability of blue and then red, the probability of red and then blue, and then we're going to add those together because there's 2 different ways. How do we find the probability of blue and then red? Well, blue and red, because they're and, we times the probabilities together. So we're going to do 0.35 times 0.65. And then what about for red and then blue? It's just going to be the other way around, 65 times 0.35. Now, both of these are going to be the same because it's the same multiplication. Just the other way around, I'm going to type it in, 0.35 times 0.65. We're going to get 91 over 400. Because we can have either of these, we're going to add these together. So 91 over 400 plus 91 over 400. It's going to be 91 over 200 as our answer. And absolutely, guys, do that on the calculator. NJ, thank you very much for moderating today. Just before you go, NJ, guys, can we get a quick wave emoji in the chat for NJ? Because he is holding it down. The only reason that I can do these streams like this and not be constantly kicking people and muting people who are trying to mess it up is because we have moderators who are kicking people out, moderating. So thank you, everybody, for waving. NJ, hopefully you're still in here. Let me know in the chat if you're still in here. Yeah, Mirage, Calc, thank you, Wild, thank you, Mamsy, thank you, Daniel, thank you, Adam, thank you, Mr. Boss, thank you, Jake, thank you, Joopy, HZ, thank you, Softly, thank you, Somi, thank you, Harry, Belinda, Calc, Heritage, Jay. Yeah, come on, NJ's still here. Awesome, thank you very much, NJ. Guys, let's get cracking with this next question. It says, there are 78 counters in the bag. How many blue counters are there in the bag? So we're going to need to use the fact that the probability of getting a red was 0.65. And what does that mean? That means that 78 counters is a decimal of 0.65 of the total, or in better words, it's 65% of the total. So 78 counters is 65% of the total. So 65% equals 76 counters. We need 100% of the number of counters. Actually, no, we don't. We need 35% technically. So we have 65% of the number is 78 counters. How can we work out 35%, which is going to be the number of blue counters? Well, we can divide by 65 to work out 1%, and then times by 35 to get back up to 35%. So I'm going to do 78 divided by 65. That's going to be 1.2. And then I'm going to do 1.2 times by 35. That's going to give me 42 as the number of blue counters. So what we did there was we scaled it down to 1%, then scaled it up to 100%. Well done, Vampire Site. Well done, Intelligent Melon. A couple of people asking if there's going to be a live tomorrow at 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Yes, there is. Okay, well done if you got that one. Otherwise, let's move on. Oh, question 17, 5 marks. Well, let me see how long the paper is. 18, 19. We're at 21. We're running a bit low on time. Okay. I need to decide which questions to do. Let's do question 17 for now, because this one is hard. Daniel asking if there's going to be lives at the weekend. Yes, Daniel, there is. Saturday, Sunday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Let's do question 17, because this one is pretty tough. Actually, I can't remember off the top of my head. Guys, let me know. Did simultaneous equations come up on paper 1? I can't remember. I've looked at so many past papers, so many questions, because this is a simultaneous equations question. If it came up, we're going to skip it. If it didn't come up, we're gonna do it. It didn't come up? Okay, let's do it then. Let's do it. Thank you, Logesh. Thank you, Ancient. Thank you, Jabba. Okay. I know it came up in AQA, but... Okay. Okay. Question 17 then. I'm going to get you started with this because this is really tough. Guys, focus really hard for the next 2 minutes. I'm going to get you started with the question. So, it says P and Q are two numbers such that P is greater than Q. When you subtract 5 from P and subtract 5 from Q, the answers are in the ratio 5 to 1. What does that mean? It means if we take the ratio of P minus 5 to Q minus 5, it's in the ratio 5 to 1. Now, what does this mean written as an equation? Well, it means that this, P minus 5, is 5 times this, Q minus 5. In other words, let me read this out super clearly. So, P minus 5 is the same as 5 times by Q minus 5. Hopefully that first bit makes sense. It's tough. The next piece of information tells us that when you add 20 to P and add 20 to Q, you get another ratio. So P plus 20 to Q plus 20, the ratio is 5 to 2. Now, there's different ways we could think about this. I would firstly, personally, reduce this to a ratio to 1. So I'd divide both sides by 2. Let's go for, let's do it this way. 2.5 to 1. So we can see that P plus 20 in this one, P plus 20 is 2.5 times Q plus 20. P plus 20 is 2.5 times Q plus 20. Now, guess what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to simplify these and solve them as simultaneous equations. Let's get that bit done. So we're going to have, or let's get the simplification done, and then I'll let you guys do the simultaneous equations. So we're going to have P minus 5 equals 5Q minus 25, minus 5Q from both sides, P minus 5Q equals, add 5 to both sides, minus 20. So this is equation number 1. Equation number 2. P plus 20 equals 2.5Q plus 20 times 2.5 is 50. Do that on the calculator. Minus 2.5Q from both sides. P minus 2.5Q minus 20 from both sides equals 30. So these are our two equations. Let me write them out. P minus 5Q equals minus 20. P minus 2.5Q equals 30. Now I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do this, and then we're going to go through it. In the meantime, I'm going to answer the questions in the chat about this first part of the question. It's a very difficult question, so if it's not making sense, please don't panic. Let's see. Oh, nice. Mamsie said starting to make sense. Intelligent Melon, let me know if you have any questions. Those ratios here came from the question. SB Football, welcome, welcome. Najma says hashtag panic. I know a lot of people are hashtag panicking now, but please don't panic because this, even if you're aiming for a grade 8 and you don't get this, don't worry. Mr. Boss said, sir, is there any way I could post the channel on my local guide's profile? I have millions of views. Hey, anything you can do to promote the channel, Mr. Boss, I'd appreciate it very much. I'd appreciate it very much. Okay. Blesson said, how do you know it's simultaneous equations? Just by looking at it. So the first part I'll say to that is it's not easy to know. So it's not easy to just spot it. The way that I can just spot it, apart from the fact that I've been doing GCSE maths a very long time, or teaching maths for a very long time, is can you see how they've given us two distinct pieces of information about two variables? So you look at the question. They say when you subtract 5 from P, when you subtract 5 from Q, you get this. Next distinct piece of information about the same thing. When you add 20 to P and you add 20 to Q, the answers are in this ratio. So it's two different pieces of information which are clearly in the same structure about two variables. That's how we know it's simultaneous equations. Okay. Let's solve these equations, team, and see what we get. So different ways we could do this. We could solve it by substitution or subtracting one from the other. I will subtract one equation from the other. So I'm going to spot that we have, how should we do this actually? Yeah, I'm going to spot that we have a 1 next to both of the p's, so I can subtract the second equation from the first equation. So I'm going to subtract this whole second equation from the first equation. P minus P cancel out. Minus 5Q minus minus 2.5Q. So minus minus turns into a plus. So minus 5Q plus 2.5Q is going to be minus 2.5Q. You could do that on the calculator. That's going to be equal to minus 20 minus 30 is minus 50. Next step, we're going to divide both sides by negative 2.5. So because the Q is currently being multiplied by negative 2.5, we're going to divide both sides by minus 2.5. We're going to get Q is equal to 20. Next step, we're going to sub this back in to find the value of P. So P minus 5Q is minus 120. So P minus 5 times 20 is minus 20. P minus 100 is minus 20. Add 100 to both sides. P is 80. What does the question say? It says find the ratio P to Q. So P to Q in a ratio. P is 80. Q is 20. Doesn't actually say to simplify. Oh, yeah, it does. It says give it in its simplest form. So we're going to divide both sides by 20. We get 4 to 1. Guys, if you got that one, absolutely fantastic job. Difficult question. Difficult question. Let me know in the chat. Did anybody understand that one after I went through it? Did anybody not get it, but then understand it after I went through it? You guys know they're my favorite comments. Okay, good work, Anthony. Good work, Kuba. Nice, Mohammed. Raf says yes. Softly says not really. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, guys, this one. Um, nice, Mamsie. Good work. Yeah, it's a really tough one, guys. Really tough one. Okay. I'm going to have a quick look at the other questions and just decide which ones we're going to do. This is the one that we're going to skip, I think. This one we're going to do because it's very difficult. This one we're going to skip because it's long and it's not really that difficult. This one is difficult, so we're going to do this one. And this one comes up a lot, so we're going to do this one. Okay, so for the remainder of today's session, we're going to do all of the questions, apart from question number 20. I'm sorry, guys. I am skipping the easier one and doing the harder ones. Ancient says, legendary selection, sir. Come on. Droopy says, this came up on paper one. I know it came up in paper one for some of the exam boards, some of them it didn't. Beat says, and then playlist. Yeah, we're going to do playlist. I'm going to have a little bit of a Q&A at the end of the session. And I am going to share the playlist. Okay, question 18. Actually, I know because a lot of you do at Excel, you might be skipping this one, so I can just go through this. Okay, question number 18. Let's have a look. It says, the straight line L1 passes through the points with coordinates 4, 6 and 12, 2. The straight line L2 passes through the origin and has gradient -3. Line L1 and L2 intersect at P. Find the coordinates of P. I don't think this specific application came up in paper one. How do we do this? How can we work out where two lines intersect? We can work out where two lines intersect. Again, it's actually the same as the previous one, but by solving them as simultaneous equations, technically. So what we can do is we can find L1, we can find L2, set them equal to each other, and solve for x and also y. So finding the equation of L1, how are we going to do that? Well, L1, here we have the equation of a line from 2 points. The general equation of a straight line is y equals mx plus c, where m is the gradient and c is the y-intercept. We're going to find the gradient first. How do we find the gradient? Well, gradient, m, is equal to change in y divided by change in x between the 2 points. Between these 2 points, what do we go from? Which way should we go? Minus plus. Oh, it's going to be an annoying one. Oh, well. We're going to go from 6 to 2. So in the y direction, we minus 4. So from 6 to 2, we minus 4. And in the x direction, we go from 4 to 8, so we plus 8. So minus 4 plus 8. So it's going to be minus half if we simplify it. Now, how do we find the rest of the equation? Well, now we know that it's y equals minus a half x plus c. We're going to find the value of c by substituting one of our coordinates into our equation. So we know that when x is 4, y is 6. So when x equals 4, y equals 6. So we can sub these values in. So 6 equals minus a half times 4 plus c. 6 equals minus 2 plus c. C equals 8. So now we have one of the equations. It's y equals minus a half x plus 8. Okay, there's one of them. Guys, I'm just going to ask something quickly before we move on to the next part of the question, which is, do you like me writing in different colors, or would you rather me stick to more blue? Because I know for some people this orange might be difficult to see. Would you prefer if it was in blue, or is orange okay? What do you prefer? Blue or orange? Let me know in the chat. Orange is okay. Different colors, different colors. I like different colors, different colors, different colors helps. Different. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, nice. Yeah, most people are going for different colors. Okay, perfect. Let's find this second equation then. By the way, thank you, Adam. Thank you, Eng. Thank you, Komi. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Fibbler. Yeah, good job, guys. Okay. Next up, we need to find the equation of L2. So now we're in green by popular request. So the equation of L2, it passes through the origin and has a gradient of -3. So we know it's going to be y equals mx plus c again. We know it passes through the origin, which means that c is equal to 0, so the y-intercept is 0, and it has a gradient of -3. So m equals -3 and c equals 0. So it's y equals -3x. Now, finding the coordinates of intersection, we're going to solve them as simultaneous equations. So we have this as one of our equations, and this is the other one. And we can find where they cross each other by setting them equal to each other. So we can say, because y is equal to both of them, that minus 3x is equal to minus a half x plus 8. I'm going to, how should we do this? I'm going to minus 8 from both sides, and I'm going to plus 3x to both sides. So minusing 8, we're going to have minus 8 equals minus a half x plus 3x is going to be 2.5x. Divide both sides by 2.5. We're going to have x is equal to minus 8 divided by 2.5 is going to be 3.2. Minus 3.2. Now we can find the corresponding value of x. We know that y is equal to minus 3x. So we can say y equals minus 3 times minus 3.2. That's going to be positive 9.6, giving us our answer of minus 3.2 and positive 9.6. Guys, if you got that one, really nicely done. Let me see. Any questions? Let me know. Yeah, no worries, Ancient. That's a trick that they use often. They use that actually often as a trick where they don't tell you the y-intercept, but they tell you that it passes through the origin. That's the same as saying that it passes through the y-intercept. The y-intercept is 0, because if we imagine a graph, if it passes through the origin, it means the y-intercept is 0, right? Okay. Question, actually, no. 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to question number 19. Here we have another 5 marker. Wow. Okay. Shall I give time for this or shall I just go through it? I'm going to go with a poll. Actually, I need to close the last poll. Another poll. Oh, not Q&A. Another poll. Start poll. Just go through it. Yes, I'll give us time. Okay, these are the two options, team. Everybody have a vote for me. I'm going to go with the majority. It's maybe the shortest 5 marker in history. Okay, most people are saying just go through it. Most people are saying just go through it. I'll just go through this one. Okay. Question number 90. Actually, no. Low key. I'm not just going to go through it. 1 minute. 1 minute for anybody to think about it, to start making some progress. Anybody who is going to get this, which is not many people, to be honest, but anybody who is going to get this will probably get it in like 2 minutes. So I'm going to give 1 minute and then I'm going to go through it. Or 1.5 minutes. Do you guys just see that little selfie? Few people saying nice 5 marks. Anthony saying nice selfie, man. Sohab says, what was that for? I'll tell you guys at the end. Berserker says, cheeky little selfie. Guys, can you hear the music? You shouldn't be able to hear the music. Okay, you can't hear the music. Good, good, good. It shouldn't be picking up in the mic, so. Wait, can we hear it? Let me turn it down one more click. Okay, anyway, let's go through this question, guys, and see what we can do. Okay, question number 20. 20? Question number 19. I was reading this 22. So question number 19 says solve 22 is less than m squared plus 7 over 4, which is less than 32. Show all of your working. What are we going to do? Here we have to solve a quadratic inequality. But not only do we have to solve a quadratic inequality, we have to solve a quadratic inequality which is between two values. So how do we do it? Well, step number one is we're going to rearrange this to get the m squared on its own, So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply firstly all of them by 4, because at the moment, the m squared plus 7 is being divided by 4. Let me just write this out fully. So I'll write it out like this. 22 is less than m squared plus 7 over 4, which is less than 32. Step number one, we times everything through by 4. Now, when we have a compound inequality like this, we need to times all three of the sections. So 22 times 4 is 88. In the middle, it's going to cancel out with the divide 4. And on the right-hand side, 32 times by 4 is going to be 128. Next up, subtracting 7 from all of our numbers. We're going to do minus 7, minus 7, minus 7. 81 is less than m squared, which is less than 121. Next step, we need to find the values of m such that when we square m, the value is between 81 and 121. Final step, let's square root all three of our parts. Square root of 81 is 9. It's less than m, which is less than 11. So we finished. However, our work is not done. Why? The reason is because technically, this is not the only range of values that m can take. Here's a question. What is negative 10 squared? What is negative 10 squared? Good job, Mohammed. Yeah, exactly. So negative 10 squared, for example, so negative 10 squared is positive 100. Is that between 81 and 121? It is, right? Yeah, good job. Good job, Hassan. Good job, Mohammed. Good job, Ancient. Good job, Bonbon. Exactly right. So what I'm saying is m is not only between 9 and 11 positive, it's also between 9 and 11 negative. So m is between 9 and 11. It's also between negative 9 and negative 11. Okay. And that is maybe the fastest 5-marker in history, because this looks longer than it is because I wrote all this working out. But really, we could have just done times 4 minus 7 square root and then use the positive and the negative versions. Okay. Nicely done. Guys, if you did get that, like we say, we're skipping 20 and we're going to move on to 21 as our final question of the day. If you haven't seen this question and you get it, you get a gold star, because this is very difficult, and to be honest, it's a bit of an unfair question. EdXL have started doing this in recent years. They've started putting like one unfair question in each paper, or like normally there's like an unfair question in 2 out of 3 papers. And when I say unfair, I mean like very unintuitive question. This question is very unintuitive. If you're aiming for a grade 9, you still might not get this because it's a very unintuitive question. However, guys, let's give it a go. I'm going to give 3 minutes to do this, and then I'm going to go through the answer. Pranav says, yes, I need that gold star. Ancient says, this question has aura. I'm going to have a quick check up on the TikTok, check the feed's still running. There's about 90 of us. Guys, a couple of people asking me on the TikTok if this is live. It is absolutely live. I'm just focusing on the YouTube chat. Oh, my music stopped playing. Okay, question 21. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a little hint. And I'm going to draw a line from here to here. Bosh. And I'm also going to write that. Okay, guys, I need to settle this once and for all about the music because the last thing I need is for the stream to get flagged. So I'm going to end that poll. I'm going to ask you all to turn your music up to max volume, and I'm going to ask you to vote in the poll. And it's important that you turn your volume up to max. I just need to see what people are saying. If everybody could vote, it's super important for me. Super important, as many people as possible. There's 300. We've got 70 votes so far. I need to know because, yeah, I just need to know because I can't let the stream get flagged. And it's important your volume has to be on max as well. Okay, a couple of people saying very faintly. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've turned it down a click. I need to find another solution for next time then. Yeah, the reason that I can't play the music is because otherwise the stream will get flagged. You won't be able to hear it now though. Now it's quiet. Okay. Guys, let's have a look at this question then. Question number 21. Final question of the day, and then we're going to call it. So, question 21, how are we going to do it? It says A, B, R, and P. So, A, B, R, and P are 4 points on a circle with center O. A, O, R, and C are 4 points on a different circle. A, O, R, and C. Okay. The two circles intersect at A and R. Okay. CPA and CRB are straight lines. Prove that angle CAB is equal to angle ABC. So CAB and ABC. Let's start with this angle down here. And I'm going to call it X. What I need to do is I need to find a way to say that this angle up here is also X. So I need a way to show that this angle up here is also X. How can I do that? Well, the first thing I would do in a question like this, if I didn't have that line drawn on, is I would have a look around and I would see if I could figure out a way to do it. And I would see that actually I can't find a way to do it. So I would think, in different ways and see if there was any lines that I could add on. Now I spot that if I do connect O and R, I have a cyclic quadrilateral of A, O, R, C. So this is 4 points which are all on the circumference, which if we join together give us a quadrilateral. Now, what do we know about cyclic quadrilaterals? We know the opposite angles in cyclic quadrilaterals add up to 180. Now, how could that maybe help us? The other thing that I spot is that if I draw this line on, I have an isosceles triangle. because these two side lengths have to be the same, right? Because they're both radiuses of the circle. So this is an isosceles triangle. What does that mean? Well, it means that this angle here is also going to be x, because angles at the base of an isosceles triangle are the same. Now, where can we go from there? If this angle is x, then this angle, angles on a straight line add up to 180, is going to be 180 minus x. Now, how could that help us? Now we actually have the key. We have the master key, because we know that opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral add to 180. And this angle here is opposite this angle here if we draw this cyclic quadrilateral. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what that means is that this has to be x as well, because 180 minus x plus angle CAO. So for now, I'll just call it CAO equals 180. Therefore, CAO has to be equal to x. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be wondering how to actually write that. So let's go through it. We can say, let angle OBR equal x. We can say, then angle ORB equals x as angles in isosceles triangles. At the base are equal. Next, we did this one, angle ORC. We know also, I'm writing very quickly, guys, so sorry it's a bit scrappy. Also, angle ORC equals 180 minus x as angles on a straight line add to 180. Finally, angle CAO must be x as opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral add to 180. Guys, that question is extremely nasty. That question is extremely nasty. It's horrible from the exam board. And in my opinion, it's unfair because there's no way that you would think or you would know to think to draw on that line. However, guys, that is another session complete. Congratulations. Congratulations. To anybody who's new, welcome to the community. I'm going to be live for the rest of half term, 1 p.m. until 3 p.m. I'm going to be live Monday evening doing 2 sessions and Tuesday evening doing 3 sessions, basically all of the nights. Format's going to be the same as today, doing past paper questions. Now, at the end of every session, guys, what do? Bonbon knows, Lizzie knows, guys. We throw a little party. So I would like you to spam the chat full of as many emojis as you possibly can. I want dancer emojis, disco emojis, party emojis, as long as they're good vibe emojis. The reason we do this is just to take a bit of a moment to appreciate the hard work that we're putting in. You've got parents, you've got teachers telling you to study, 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 study. There's pressure from them, there's pressure from yourself. And it's one thing doing the studying, but when was the last time you took a moment to appreciate the work that you're putting in? I bet there's not a single one of you who is new to the stream who has given yourself a genuine pat on the back and a genuine moment of appreciation in a very long time. So as well as spamming the emojis, guys, what I would like you to do is to close your eyes. Don't just make me be the silly one doing it. And to give yourself a little pat on the back, to appreciate the work that you're putting in, to appreciate the effort. Guys, it's not easy motivating yourself at this stage. So very well done. Thank you, QDG Minx. Thank you, Young Knight, Bushra, Nkuba, LOL. Says, done it. Come on, guys. It's very important. And scientifically proven, you actually learn more. A couple of people asking me to scroll down so to screenshot. Absolutely. Beats is partying, intelligent melon, speedruns and edits. Guys, let's keep the chart. The chart. I'm not going to say let's keep the charty running, but let's keep the party running. Absolutely fantastic. Now, before you all clock off, a couple of things. Number one, I'm going to do a little bit of a Q&A. I'm going to share the playlist that I promised. The other thing, guys, if you haven't already, I'm going to remind you again, please, please, please take 5 seconds, or if you have 30 seconds, to leave a Google review. It would really, really help me out. And like I say, it's the only way in the long term that I'm going to be able to keep doing these lives for free. And I really, really want to. I want to keep the ads off. I really want to keep the ads off because I think it disrupts your learning. At the moment, the ads are switched off. So that's one thing. That's kind of a selfish reason to do it. And selflessly, guys, it would just help me out a lot. It would help me out a lot. So if you haven't already, guys, the link is there. It's not going to take long at all. And I would really, really appreciate it. Couple of people asking where to leave the review. Guys, the link is pinned on my YouTube. If you're watching on the TikTok at the moment, it's in my bio on my profile. Mohammed says, what's the selfie for? It was actually for a group chat. It was actually for a group chat. My mate was messaging me saying, pick up the phone. So I sent him a little selfie. Said, sorry, brother, can't pick up the phone right now. That was what the selfie was for. Yeah, thank you, Fibler. Thank you. Okay, guys, is it time? Quite a lot of you are asking what the Discord is. We technically do have a Discord. Did you not know there was a Discord, guys? To be fair, I've not actually been promoting it. Thank you, Ancient. Thank you, Young Knight. 2 days later says it is time. Okay, also, Joshua says, my first time here, lol. Joshua, my friend, welcome to the community. Good to have you. Good to have you. Okay, I'm going to set up another quick poll, and I'm just going to ask people to vote on whether it's your first time or whether you've been here before. Is it your first time? Yes. And then we're going to put like, oh, I can't put an emoji in there. What? Yes, it's my first time here. No, I'm a regular. Okay, guys, have a quick vote in that poll for me if you can. Okay, Vampire Sight says proud regular. Oh, wow, there's a lot of people whose first time it is. I did not expect that. Oh, wow, it's 50% first time. No way. Hey, guys, welcome. Guys, welcome. I thought it was going to be like 80, 90% regulars. Swirly said, I did it the night before paper one and now back again. Very nice. Ben says, first time locking in. Awesome. ER said, first time, but I'll be a regular. Oh, guys, mad. Welcome, Raf. Oh, guys, this is sick. I didn't know there was so many first time. 113 of us have voted. 50% are saying first time. Oh, guys, that is blessed. I thought, like I said, I thought it was like 80% regulars. Young Knight said I'll be a regular soon too as well. Ah, blessed guys, blessed. If you wanted to join the Discord, by the way, the link is on the YouTube on my channel page. You just have, I think you have to click more links and you'll find it there. I'm not really active there at the moment. But maybe I will be. Maybe I will be next week. I'll answer some questions and stuff. ILY Yash says regular for the videos, you know. Very nice, very nice. Okay, guys, let's do it. I'm gonna drop the link for the playlist in the chat. I'm gonna drop the link for the playlist. I'm hoping this is gonna work. I don't know if it will. Oh, Create cover art. Okay, guys, I've actually seen that I didn't upload a photo, so I'm just going to upload a photo, the My GCSE Maths logo. Um, okay, guys, just give me 1 second. I'm just going to change the cover photo. Edit. Change playlist cover. Change cover image. Oh, no, I have to create cover art. Background. I want it to be white. Style, solid. Good. Color. White. Nice. Now we're getting there. They've changed the settings here. Oh, style, solid. Okay, guys, I'm not gonna be long. Save. Oh, I've messed it up. Okay. Edit cover photo. Edit. Change playlist cover. Create cover art. Background. Style. Solid. Color. White. Okay. Image. Choose file. Okay, I'm gonna change it to this for now, and then I'll change it a bit. I'll change it again later to make it better. Save. Okay, okay. How do I share it? Share. Copy link. Okay, hopefully this works, guys. Oh, that didn't work. Maybe I have to get my laptop. Okay, guys, this is not going to take long. Hopefully. There we go. Oh, not invite collaborators. I didn't mean that. Share. Copy link to playlist. Okay. That should take you to it. Okay. Let's see. Let me pin it. Replace pin message. Okay. There's been a lot of requests for the music that I'm listening to while I'm streaming. So this is the type of music that I have playing. Normally it changes a little bit. As you all know, I do like my music, lots of different genres, lots of different styles. This music is pretty much Afro beats. While I'm doing the streams, I'm mainly listening to Afro beats. Let's see. Did it work? And guys, let me say as well, can you let me know? I tried to make it, to be honest, so that you couldn't see all of the stuff on my account. Does it only come up with that playlist, or can you see loads of stuff on there? Hopefully just that one comes up. Let me know in the chat. I'm gonna have to change some okay, Faith says I can only see that one. Anthony says fire playlist, sir. Fibbler says, do you do any / did you used to do any sport? Maybe we'll do a bit of a Q&A now. So I don't actually at the moment. To be honest, guys, I've been sleeping on the gym recently. I've really fallen off a bit. Over the years, I've done a lot of training, though, lots of different sports. So when I was younger, until I was about 18, I played football. So I was a GK playing in goal. And then I stopped for a couple of years doing that. And then in third year at uni, so a few years ago, I got very much into boxing and into yoga. I also used to do a lot of swimming. Cat Twig says, "Did you used to do swimming?" Yeah, I used to do competitive swimming as well. Um, but yeah, the most recent ones I've done was I was doing a lot of yoga, but also boxing at the same time. Normally they don't go together, or people think they don't go together. They do very much go together because when you're boxing, you get very intense. So the yoga chills you out a bit. I can see 9 people so far have saved the playlist. Oh, that's cool, actually. 12 people. Guys, save the playlist. Um, Table tennis. I do like a bit of table tennis. Tashi says 10-10 playlist. Oh, nice. Guy with nose face says, I'm a boxer and Thai boxer. Very nice, mate. I'd thoroughly recommend to all of you doing martial arts. I'd definitely recommend it. The guys and the girls as well. Um, Jay says, so do you play games? Do you mean video games? If you mean video games, not really at the moment. I used to, again, when I was younger, when I was doing my GCSEs, I used to be big into COD, big into FIFA. I used to like Assassin's Creed a lot, Red Dead Redemption, GTA 5. But to be honest, I've not played in a long time. My little cousin is really trying to get me to start playing again. I say little, he's 18, but or 17. Yeah, 17, but he's really trying to get me to start playing again, but I'm just not into it at the moment. Um I've not played in a very long time. Faith says, "What about Roblox?" Roblox wasn't so big when I was younger. Um Mr. Box does kickboxing, very nice. Ooh, Cat Twix says Clash Royale. I tell a lie. Every now and again, I do play Clash Royale on my phone. Clash, Clash Royale is a wicked game. Clash Royale. I thought about doing Clash Royale live streams and like challenging you guys. So like you guys can join, and I'll go on a live stream and do like what's it called? Draft. I was thinking about playing draft and letting people challenge me. I thought that would be funny on a live. Um, Harry says, how many trophies you got? Let me have a look. I don't really play it seriously, I'll be honest, but I have quite a few. Brawl Stars, I've not really been into. Sarah does gymnastics. Gymnastics is so good to do. I've never done it personally, but it's really good to do for guys and girls as well. I have 6,546 trophies. I don't know if that's a lot or not a lot. Fall Guys, I don't actually know. No fibbler is the short answer to that. Design said, what should we call you, sir? You can either call me sir or you can call me Matt, whatever you prefer. Most people go with sir. I think sir makes a bit more sense for this. Speedruns and Tricks said, raw. Lizzie's on 9K trophies. What? What football team do you support? To be honest, I've not played footballing quite a while, or I've not really been following for quite a while. Um, Uh my team when I was always younger was United, so I'd say Man United still. I know things have gone downhill for us, but like I really don't follow it. So like I don't even know the league or anything. Sports wise, I'm more into the UFC and into the F1. So I do like a bit of UFC and F1. McLaren's my team F1 wise, and UFC wise. I know the question's gonna come up, so favorite fighter is probably gonna be the question. It used to be Adesanya, but I think he's kind of lost his way a bit. I'm gonna go for Yuri Prohaska if anybody knows who he is. Mamzi says Charles Leclerc. NJ's a Mercedes fan. 24 days later said, Sir, what do you think about Hamilton going to Ferrari? I think it's quite sad. I think the overall thing is quite sad. Like, I feel bad for Hamilton, to be honest. Like, at the end of the day, he's at the end of his career. People are going to kind of see it as him like tarnishing his legacy, which I don't think is a fair way of looking at it. It's like the dude's at the end of his career, he's past his prime. Realistically, he's not winning again. Let's let the man drive a Ferrari just for a bit of fun. When he was growing up, he wanted to be a Ferrari driver. He's fulfilling like a life dream. I personally think like let's let him just fulfill that dream in peace, as opposed to everyone like brutally going down on him about how he's not up to speed and stuff. Um, Yeah, bro fell off, but of course he did. He's at the end of his career, man. Mamsie said, yeah, Hamilton should leave the Ferrari spot for youngsters. Yeah, I agree with that. In a perfect world, realistically, in F1, money talks, man. Money talks in F1. So probably what's happening is, or what will happen is, it's good for Ferrari's brand a little bit to have Hamilton driving. Hamilton made a bunch of cash from the deal. There's a bunch of sponsors. It brings more people to the sport because it's a lot of notoriety for the F1. So unfortunately, I think it's probably a money thing. Um, HZ said, Matt, do you draw slash sketch? No, I'm terrible at drawing. I'm terrible at art. I wish I was good. Like I appreciate other people's drawings, but me myself, I'm terrible. By the way, did anybody have a chance at the end to leave a Google review? Let me have a quick look if there were any more at the end. Ah, nice. There were quite a few more. someone put someone put a review which says very very good. Mew Street looking great, and a picture of a turtle with his head looking up on the review. Oh man, the stuff that some people come out with. Mayan says, "What's your deck for Clash?" I can show you guys. That's a Clash deck. It's going to take a little bit of time to see for you guys, so I'm going to hold it up there for a few more seconds. Cat Twix says, nah, mid ladder menace. I don't even know what that means. HG said, Matt, how was the date? Was the date yesterday enjoyable? Wink, wink. I wish I went for a date. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I was actually working that day. Anthony said, that's fire. Jan Sherika said, are you religious? So I'm not like Christian or Muslim or I don't not like with one of the main religions, but I do believe in God and I'm spiritual or however you want to say it, but I do very much believe in God with 100% conviction. So some people would call that religious. Some people would say you're not religious if you're not with like a um with a like one of the main religions. But I would call it religious because it's like belief in God and stuff. Q said, do you like wrestling? I used to love the WWE, man. Again, I've not watched it for a long time, but I used to love the WWE. I actually went to WrestleMania back in the day. Swirly said, is there a Mrs. My GCSE Maths? There is not a Mrs. My GCSE Maths. Vampire Sight said, where are you from? I'm from the middle of England. The middle of England. Lizzie Five Lizzies says, favorite boxer? After the other day, I'm going Eubank Jr. I really like him. Honestly, I really like him. I like his vibe. I like his energy. He's and that moment, I don't know if anybody watched it, the Eubank Jr. versus Ben fight. That moment where they did the walkout, I actually watched it again last night on my phone. The walkout, like it's like 4 minute video of um Eubank walking out with his dad. Oh my god. Oh my god. Cat Twix says 100 gorillas versus one Matt. Who wins? Easy. Easy. As Anthony says, blindfolded. No question. Lizzie says, too much in one walk, in my opinion. I'm going to say, Lizzie, I honestly think it worked perfectly. I think it worked perfectly. Like, it was a lot in one walk, but I think when it switched to Still Dre, Links Football said, join from TikTok. Welcome, my friend. Welcome. Good to have you on. Hey, Charlotte. Good to have you. Good to have you. Okay, guys, I think we're going to call it a day there. I want to see how many people joined the Spotify, actually. There were 12 people. That's pretty cool. If anyone else wants to join, you can use the link up at the top if you want to check it out. It's mainly a mixed Afrobeats playlist. HC said, "When are we getting hood mat?" I don't know. A few students have said that they're making edits and this kind of thing. I've not seen any yet, so I'm definitely not gonna make any myself. But Faith said, make another one with non-Afro music. We can do that. What genre would you want if it wasn't Afro beats? Yeah, yeah, exactly, Cat Twix. Jay says, "Sir, if you had a ringwork, what song would you use?" It depends on the scenario, but I would probably go with a bit of drum and bass. There's a there's a remix of a song called Man Down Under. Unique user said, "This stream is so random." Yeah, yeah, it is getting very random now. It's like, what boxing walkout would you come to? Oh god. Kuba says R&B. Okay. Faith saying, what GCSE options did you do? I did um business studies, ICT, German, PE, and statistics. And statistics. Okay, guys, I'm actually going to take another quick selfie. Hopefully you were all smiling. Hopefully you're all smiling. Okay. Aaron said, who would win in a boxing match? You versus first class maths. I'm going to say we would be on the same team. We'd be on the same team. If it's WWE tag team, we'd be flying off the top ropes. Vampire Zide says, kannst du Deutsch? Na ja, ich kann ein bisschen Deutsch sprechen. Kannst du? Also, ich habe auch Deutsch für Abitur gemacht. Also, ich kann ein bisschen Deutsch sprechen. But yeah, guys, for some reason on Google it says that my GCSE maths is located in Germany. It's not in Germany. I have nothing to do with Germany apart from doing it for GCSE and for GCSE yeah, for GCSEs. Um Ali says, are you good at German? I used to be pretty much fluent. Now I'm really not very good anymore. Um Quite a few people asking when the next session is. Next session is tomorrow, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Okay, guys, I'm going to call it a day there. I'm going to say, hasta luego. Thank you for a fantastic session. We're going to be back tomorrow. Kids, Kixie's account. Yes, it is possible to go from 5 to a 7. Yeah. Okay. My pleasure, Jay. Goodbye, Akib. Goodbye, Zain. Goodbye, Mamzi. Goodbye, Val Ili. Bitter Bitter. Goodbye, Lizzie. Goodbye, Aisha. Goodbye, Vampire Site. Goodbye, HZ. Goodbye, Unique User. Thank you, Swirly. Thank you, Lizzie. Thank you, NJ, Mamzi, Faith. Bis bald, Vampire Site. Goodbye, Radiation, H Tiger, Young Knight. Goodbye, Mamzi. Goodbye, Jupi. Guys, I'm going to say hasta luego, arrivederci, ciao, ciao, ciao. If you're back, I'll see you tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll see you whenever you can next join. Guys, have a wonderful day. I will see you soon.